Let me ask you something. Whose voice is living in your head right now? Is it your own or someone who told you you're not enough? You see, from the moment we're born, we're being programmed by our parents, by society, by fear. We're taught to play safe, to not fail, to fit in. And most people, they don't even realize it. They're walking through life with old software running a broken system inside their minds. But let me tell you something powerful right now. You can rewire your brain. You can brainwash yourself for success. You can delete the viruses of doubt, fear, and self-sabotage and replace them with belief, drive, and unstoppable action. Let's break the cycle. Let's reprogram your mind for the life you deserve. Your mind is the most powerful tool you'll ever own and the most dangerous weapon if left unchecked. Most people never stop to realize this, but the truth is you are constantly talking to yourself every single day, every moment. That voice in your head, that running commentary, it doesn't shut up. It tells you what you can do, what you can't, how you look, what you're worth, what people think of you, and it all shapes how you feel, how you act, how you show up in the world. Now here's the million-dollar question. Is that voice building you or breaking you? Because if you don't control it, it will control you. Let's get real. Most people live in a loop of self-sabotage. They wake up and unconsciously say to themselves, I'm tired. They look in the mirror and think, I don't like what I see. They try something new and whisper, what if I fail again? And they wonder why their life doesn't change. You see, your brain listens to everything you say, even if you're joking. Say, I'm broke, and your mind locks that identity in. Say, I'm lazy, and your body starts acting like it. Say, I always screw things up, and your subconscious begins proving you right. Words are not just sound, they are commands to your nervous system. They are instructions to your brain. They are shaping your beliefs and therefore your future. You want to brainwash yourself for success. Then you've got to master your inner dialogue. You've got to interrupt the pattern of disempowering talk and inject a new story, a new belief, a new identity. Look, I've coached people from every walk of life. Billionaires, athletes, trauma survivors, addicts, CEOs, and one thing I've learned is this. Change doesn't start with your environment. It starts with the language you use in your head. That's why one of the first things I get people to do is to identify the lies they've been telling themselves. And it is a lie. It's a lie that you're not enough. It's a lie that you'll never succeed. It's a lie that your past defines your future. But your brain doesn't know the difference unless you tell it, unless you show it a new reality. So what do? You declare what you want out loud with emotion every single day until your brain starts to believe it. Well, I'm not my past. I am the architect of my future. I am disciplined. I am focused. I am in control. Say it when you don't feel like it. Say it when it sounds ridiculous. Say it until your voice drowns out every whisper of fear and doubt. This is not about pretending. It's about programming. It's about installing a new operating system, one that's designed for greatness. Because here's the reality. If you don't plant seeds of power in your mind, weeds of fear will grow automatically. Don't let your inner critic run the show. Fire that voice. Replace it with your inner champion. Because every extraordinary life begins with a decision to take back control of your internal world. And when you control your mind, when you control that voice, there is nothing, and I mean nothing, that can stop you. Let me tell you something that most people never understand. Negative thoughts are not just thoughts. They are patterns. They are grooves in the mind. They are habits wired deep into your nervous system. You don't just think them, you live them, you feel them, you rehearse them like a bad song on repeat over and over again. And every time you do, you reinforce the wiring. You make it easier for your brain to go there automatically. You ever wonder why your mind jumps to the worst case scenario? Why you feel anxious, even when nothing's wrong? Why you're exhausted even when you haven't done anything? It's because you've been rehearsing emotional pain. You've built a neural highway that leads straight to fear, stress, self-doubt, and your mind takes that road without asking for directions. But here's the powerful truth. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the creator of them. You are the master, not the victim. And the moment you decide to stop feeding the pattern, it dies. Negative thoughts only have power when you believe them and when you fuel them with focus and emotion. So how do you kill them? You break the pattern. You do what your brain doesn't expect. If you're in the middle of anxiety, overwhelm, self-pity, you don't sit there and analyze it. You don't feed it. You don't try to fight it with more thinking. You move. You change your state. radically, physically, instantly. You clap your hands, you shout stop, you jump, you scream, you laugh like a maniac, you do 30 push-ups, you dance. Why? Because emotion is created by motion. Because physiology drives psychology. When you change your body, you change your mind. When you interrupt the emotional loop, you interrupt the thought, you can't think your way out of a negative spiral. You've got to break it with something stronger, your physical energy, your focus, your pattern. Now listen, most people don't interrupt these patterns because they've made an identity out of their suffering. They say, this is just how I am. No, that's just how you've been conditioned. That's just the story you've repeated. But stories can change, stories can be rewritten, and patterns can be broken the moment you decide enough. So the next time a wave of self-doubt hits you, the next time you catch your mind drifting into fear, into comparison, into shame, don't feed it. Don't sit with it. Interrupt it, smash it, replace it. Ask yourself, what's something I'm grateful for right now? What's one thing I've already overcome that proves I'm stronger than this? What's the truth, not the emotion, the truth of this moment? Then breathe, then move, then shift. This is how you take your power back. Not by waiting for life to change, not by hoping the thoughts go away, but by becoming the master of your mental patterns. You do this enough times, you rewire your brain. You condition a new loop, you build new emotional muscles. You teach your nervous system that you are in charge, not fear, not anxiety, not the voice of your past. And when you own that level of control, when you can take a negative thought and destroy it in real time, that's when you become dangerous to limitation. That's when you become unshakable. Because the truth is this, negative thoughts might still come, but they'll never stay not in a mind trained for power. If you want to change your life, you have to change what you're feeding your mind every single day. You can't expect to build a winning mindset while surrounding yourself with mediocrity. You can't fill your head with garbage, the drama, the gossip, the fear-driven news, the broke-minded conversations, and expect to feel powerful, inspired, and driven. Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. Your mindset is not broken. It's just malnourished. You've been starving it of strength, starving it of strategy, starving it of vision, and like your body, your mind becomes weak when you don't feed it the right fuel. The problem is most people spend hours scrolling social media, watching pointless content, and hanging around negative people and then wonder why they feel stuck, anxious, overwhelmed, and uninspired. Let me give it to you straight. You become what you consume. If you spend time with winners, you'll think like a winner. If you listen to empowering messages, you'll speak powerfully. If you read about visionaries, you'll start to see your own vision. But if you're immersed in fear, failure, and excuses, that becomes your internal programming. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's exposure. It's repetition. It's conditioning. You want to brainwash yourself for success? Then you've got to saturate your mind in it every single day. Every single day. When I was broke, living in a tiny apartment, washing my dishes in the bathtub, I had nothing. But I had a tape deck and a stack of personal development cassettes. I fed my brain when I had no money to feed my stomach. And that's what changed everything. Because here's the truth. Your mind will believe anything you tell it, often enough. So you've got to immerse yourself in the language of success, the energy of growth, the stories of those who broke through. Wake up and listen to something that charges you up, not something that numbs you out. Read 10 pages a day from a book that stretches your thinking. Watch people who've done what you want to do. Flood your environment with reminders of who you are becoming. Make your YouTube feed, your social media, your daily habits into a personal development machine. And it doesn't stop there because it's not just about what you consume digitally, it's also about who you allow into your space. Let me ask you, are the people around you pushing you forward or pulling you back? Are they challenging you or enabling your comfort zone? Are they expanding your vision or shrinking your belief? You've got to guard your circle like your life depends on it, because it does. Energy is contagious, belief is contagious, doubt is contagious, and you can't build $1 billion mindset hanging out with people who complain about $10 problems. If you want to grow, you've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to get around people who think bigger, dream bigger, do bigger. People who won't let you settle for average. People who call you out, lift you up, and remind you that your standards shape your destiny. So here's what I want you to do starting today. Create a daily success ritual. Start your morning with something powerful, a podcast, a speech, a journal, a goal review. Feed your brain like your future depends on it, because it does. And the more you do this, the more your identity begins to shift. You stop thinking like the old you. You stop talking like the scared version of you. And you start to move, act, and decide like the version of you who's already achieved it. Immerse in success, and success becomes inevitable. Close your eyes, not to fall asleep, but to wake up. Because what you see in your mind shapes what you do in your life. And the problem with most people isn't that they don't have dreams, it's that they're too busy focusing on nightmares. They see everything going wrong. They imagine the worst case scenario. They rehearse failure, rejection, disappointment over and over again. And then they wonder why they hesitate, why they procrastinate, why they choke when the moment to rise finally shows up. Let me tell you something that's backed by both science and transformation. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. It fires the same chemicals, it builds the same patterns. It gets trained, programmed, conditioned, whether it actually happened or not. So the question is, what are you teaching your mind every day? Are you showing it victory or showing it defeat? You want to rewire your brain for success? You want to brainwash yourself into power? Then you've got to visualize like a warrior. I'm not talking about wishful daydreaming. I'm talking about strategic, emotional, daily mental conditioning. Close your eyes and see the moment you step on the stage. Feel the lights, the power, the confidence flowing through your veins. See yourself launching the business, closing the deal, winning the fight, transforming your body, breaking through that wall. But don't just see it, feel it. Feel the rush in your chest. Feel the smile cracking across your face. Feel the pride, the freedom, the fire of success that's already yours. Live it in your mind like it's already done. Because here's the truth. The more vividly and frequently you imagine your victory, the more your brain starts creating it in reality. This is how athletes win championships before the game even begins. This is how world-class performers build certainty. This is how leaders stay grounded under pressure. They've already seen themselves succeed thousands of times. Your mind will follow the pictures you show it. So why are you showing it fear? Why are you replaying the old trauma, the old failure, the old betrayal? That movie's over. That story's done. It's time to direct a new film. One where you're not the victim, you're the hero. And look, this isn't magic. This is conditioning. You do it over and over and over again until it becomes second nature. You wake up and visualize your win. You visualize when you're brushing your teeth. You visualize before that call, before that meeting, before that moment. That matters. Because repetition builds belief, belief builds action, and action creates results. You keep doing this and you'll notice something start to shift. You'll walk differently. You'll speak with more certainty. You'll move through fear faster. You'll start creating the future you've already seen. That's the power of visualization. And don't wait until you feel confident to do this. Do this to become confident. Don't wait till life shows you success. Show it to yourself first. You go first. Your vision leads and your reality follows. If you don't program your own mind, the world will do it for you. And most of the world is operating in fear. So take control. Take 5 minutes every day. Close your eyes and show your brain who the hell you really are. When you can see it in your mind, you'll chase it with your actions. And soon, you'll hold it in your hands. Close your eyes, not to fall asleep, but to wake up. Because what you see in your mind shapes what you do in your life. And the problem with most people isn't that they don't have dreams, it's that they're too busy focusing on nightmares. They see everything going wrong. They imagine the worst case scenario. They rehearse failure, rejection, disappointment over and over again. And then they wonder why they hesitate, why they procrastinate, why they choke when the moment to rise finally shows up. Let me tell you something that's backed by both science and transformation. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. It fires the same chemicals, it builds the same patterns. It gets trained, programmed, conditioned, whether it actually happened or not. So the question is, what are you teaching your mind every day? Are you showing it victory or showing it defeat? You want to rewire your brain for success? You want to brainwash yourself into power? Then you've got to visualize like a warrior. I'm not talking about wishful daydreaming. I'm talking about strategic, emotional, daily mental conditioning. Close your eyes and see the moment you step on the stage. Feel the lights, the power, the confidence flowing through your veins. See yourself launching the business, closing the deal, winning the fight, transforming your body, breaking through that wall. But don't just see it, feel it. Feel the rush in your chest. Feel the smile cracking across your face. Feel the pride, the freedom, the fire of success that's already yours. Live it in your mind like it's already done. Because here's the truth. The more vividly and frequently you imagine your victory, the more your brain starts creating it in reality. This is how athletes win championships before the game even begins. This is how world-class performers build certainty. This is how leaders stay grounded under pressure. They've already seen themselves succeed thousands of times. Your mind will follow the pictures you show it. So why are you showing it fear? Why are you replaying the old trauma, the old failure, the old betrayal? That movie's over. That story's done. It's time to direct a new film. One where you're not the victim, you're the hero. And look, this isn't magic. This is conditioning. You do it over and over and over again until it becomes second nature. You wake up and visualize your win. You visualize when you're brushing your teeth. You visualize before that call, before that meeting, before that moment. That matters. Because repetition builds belief. Belief builds action, and action creates results. You keep doing this, and you'll notice something start to shift. You'll walk differently. You'll speak with more certainty. You'll move through fear faster. You'll start creating the future you've already seen. That's the power of visualization. And don't wait until you feel confident to do this. Do this to become confident. Don't wait until life shows you success. Show it to yourself first. You go first. Your vision leads, and your reality follows. If you don't program your own mind, the world will do it for you. And most of the world is operating in fear. So take control. Take 5 minutes every day. Close your eyes and show your brain who the hell you really are. When you can see it in your mind, you'll chase it with your actions, and soon you'll hold it in your hands. Let me drop a truth bomb on you. Success doesn't come from doing something once in a while. It comes from what you do consistently. Everybody wants to feel motivated. Everyone wants to feel inspired. But the people who actually win in life, they're not waiting for motivation. They've built rituals. They don't rely on emotion. They rely on structure. Because they understand one thing: you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. You can have the most exciting dream in the world, but if your daily habits are weak, you're going nowhere. Motivation gets you started. But ritual, that's what builds momentum. That's what turns potential into power. Think about it. When you wake up in the morning, what's your first move? Is it checking your phone, scrolling social media, reacting to the world? Or is it owning your day before the world even touches you? You've got to build powerful rituals, ones that align with the identity of the person you're becoming. Because here's the deal. Your brain loves repetition. The more you repeat a behavior, the more automatic it becomes. So if you want to change your life, you've got to build rituals that lock in your peak state every single day. What does that look like? It's simple. It's not about doing 50 things. It's about doing a few non-negotiables with absolute commitment. Maybe it's waking up and jumping into a cold shower to shock your nervous system into power. Maybe it's hitting the gym to ignite your physical energy. Maybe it's journaling your goals, your gratitude, your vision to laser focus your mind. Maybe it's putting on a podcast, the Tony Robbins clip, something that fuels your mind like rocket fuel. You want to dominate your day? Then design it. Decide in advance how you're going to start. Decide what your morning looks like, your work rhythm, your wind down, your prep for the next day. Don't wing your life, engineer it. The most successful people on earth, the athletes, the CEOs, the peak performers, they all run on ritual, not on mood. They don't negotiate with themselves every morning about whether or not they feel like showing up. They've trained their brain that this is what I do. It's automatic, it's identity, it's non-negotiable. And you know what else happens when you ritualize success habits? You build self-trust. You start to believe in yourself, not because of hype, but because you have proof. You say, I said I'd do it, and I did. You stack those wins, and every small win rewires your brain to expect more, to achieve more, to demand more from yourself. And here's what most people miss. Ritual doesn't mean perfection. It means repetition. It means doing it even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. Because that's how you take control back. That's how you shift from reactive to intentional. So if you're serious about destroying negative thoughts and brainwashing yourself for success, this part is non-negotiable. You must become a creature of ritual because willpower fades, emotion shifts, but systems stay solid. And when your systems are aligned with your goals, success stops being random. It becomes predictable. So here's the question you need to ask yourself every morning. What rituals does the best version of me live by? Then go live them. Not someday, not when you feel ready. Today, now, because success isn't something you hope for, It's something you ritualize. Let's be real. You can read every book, listen to every podcast, meditate, journal, visualize, all of it. But if you're constantly surrounded by people who drain your energy, who question your dreams, who live small, you're fighting a losing battle. You are the average of the voices you hear most often. You're not just influenced by your environment, you are sculpted by it. And most people, let's face it, are trapped in environments that are toxic to growth. I'm talking about the chronic complainers, the dream killers, the people who play victim, the ones who get uncomfortable the moment you start shining a little too bright. Let me make something clear. You can't fly while you're tied to anchors. You can't become the next level version of yourself while surrounded by people committed to the old version of you. You can't rewire your brain for success while you're still letting other people program it with their fear. This isn't about ego. This is about energy. You've got to protect your energy like it's oxygen, because it is. You ever notice how some people can spend 5 minutes with you and you feel exhausted? Like your fire just got dimmed? And then others, they walk into the room and your whole state shifts. You feel alive, focused, like anything's possible. That's not an accident, that's alignment. You need to get radically honest about who belongs in your future and who only fits in your past. There are people you love, but you've outgrown them. There are people you care about, but they're not coming with you. There are people who say they support you, but every time you level up, they get uncomfortable. That's because your growth reminds them of their stagnation. Now, hear me on this. This doesn't mean you hate on people. You don't need to cut everyone off. But you do need to decide who gets access to your mind, your time, your heart, your vision. Because if you don't set the standard, you'll get dragged down to theirs. You have to create an environment that matches your destiny, not your history. If that means spending more time alone so you can focus, do it. If that means saying no to the party so you can build your dream, do it. If that means joining masterminds, flying across the country for events, or only listening to voices that empower you, do it. Because the moment you shift your circle, you shift your standard, and when your standard rises, your results rise with it. Let's flip this now. Don't just avoid toxic influences. Seek out power environments. Seek out power environments. Find people who are obsessed with becoming the best version of themselves, people who will challenge your excuses, people who clap when you win and tell you the truth when you're off track, people who won't let you play small because they've burned the bridges to mediocrity themselves. That energy is priceless. And here's the kicker. You don't just find that energy, you become it. Be the person who lifts others, who speaks power, who raises the bar. Because when you become that, you attract that. And that's the shift. From being influenced to becoming the influencer. From being at the mercy of your environment to designing it with purpose. Your future is too important to be shaped by people who don't believe in it. This is your life, your story, and you get to choose who writes the next chapter with you. So choose wisely, choose intentionally, choose power. Because when you cut off limiting influences, you create space for greatness to move in.